his 11th home run of the season. Let's hear from Muncy right now with Kirsten.
Max, just as a team, I feel like you guys have had a lot of situations where a little bit bases, but then maybe you only get 1 or 2 runs out of it. Just how are you looking kind of at that persistent issue here?
Yeah, I mean, like we said yesterday, we're in a funk right now, and it's a team-wide thing. You have to try to find the positives out of it for that situation. We are creating situations where we can have good things happen. We're just not getting, a hit here or there. So, you try to, like I said, you try to look at the positives. We are creating situations. We're in a funk at cashing them in.
Do you guys as a group, or just maybe the veterans of this clubhouse, do you guys come together in a time like this right now to kind of figure things out, or just, obviously you are so talented and you know who you are, but are there conversations happening behind closed doors amongst you all?
There's a lot of conversations happening, yeah. We're not taking this lightly right now, but, we also understand it is 162. And, we've gone through stretches like this in the past, and we've also gone through good stretches, and so it's just, we're having a lot of conversations, but it's also trying not to overreact to something still early in May.
Sort of like you said, you guys kind of had a stretch like this last year in the second half. How did you guys kind of break out of that, and what sort of take from that possibly to bring into this situation?
You just have to keep your head clear. It's easy to dwell on the negative things that are happening, especially in baseball. This is a very hard sport, and there are going to be a lot of bad things that happen, but you just have to show up each day, keep moving on, and, you have to trust who you are, trust in the team, trust in the process, and, it's something that we've harped on a lot over the years, and, we're just going to keep doing that and not fully understand we are going to come out of this.
Has there been any disconnect in creating the opportunities versus then coming to the plate, like in those situations that you've noticed?
The hard thing about when you're going through a funk like this as a team is, you get in these situations and you want to do something big instead of just keeping it simple. And I think all of us up and down are kind of in that spot right now. We just need to simplify things and not try to do too much when it's our turn in the box.
To your point, the situational hitting was better today, even if it wasn't reflected in the total score. When you see guys like Mookie coming back or Teo getting on 3 times, you getting rewarded for hitting the ball hard, does it alleviate a little bit of the pressure, like things are turning?
I mean, that goes to what I was just saying, that we're a very veteran team in here, and we really understand that, you're not going to get the job done every single time. Right now, we're in that stretch where we're not getting it done at any time. But that's just not going to be the case for an entire season. It's just not. And, we have to keep going, and we have to keep staying positive. And, again, like I was saying, it is easy to dwell on the negative. But for us, you just have to keep moving forward. You have to keep showing up, and you have to keep understanding who we are as a team and who we are as a group. And, we're back-to-back champions for a reason. We find ways to get out of this, and it looks bleak right now, but it is still early May. We still have a long season to go, and there's going to be a stretch coming up real soon where everything we touch finds grass, and we're scoring a whole bunch of runs, and no one's going to be talking about it. It's just how baseball is.
Yeah, the Dodgers have a number of guys who just aren't hitting right now, Jerry, for whatever reason, but Max Muncy's not one of those guys, continues to swing the bat well.
Yeah, no, these are tough, obviously, in a loss, but I'll tell you what, Max Muncy continues to impress.
Love the fact that he's driving it the other way. He is not getting the ball where it flares and spins, because he is still strong enough to hit a ball out of the ballpark, even when you kind of mishit it and it kind of flares over there, kind of slices over there. No, he is not getting that. He is getting that backspin on a regular basis, and he also knows he has quick enough hands to turn on balls when they're in, just like he did on that single to right field.
Well, we heard Joe Davis mention that is his swing cue right now, Nomar, to lead with the hands or hands first. Could something like that help Shohei Ohtani? Because listening to the way you guys talk about how that swing cue is paying off for Max Muncy, could that help Shohei?
Well, listen, there's all these different cues. It's easy to say, oh, just try this or try the guy who's being successful. Honestly, it's really not that easy because, everybody has different cues. Everybody has a different interpretation. You can say lead with your hands, and as you're leading with the hands, you can be leading with your hands, but the barrel could be dropping as you're leading, as compared to leading with your hands and still keeping the barrel above your hands as long as as possible, that it doesn't drop. So, and some guys might think they're leading with their hands, and as they're leading, it really is that front shoulder that's kind of leading the way, and that starts pulling out, but they feel like they're leading with their hands. So I wish it was that easy. It's not necessary. Everybody has different cues. It's really trying to find that one cue that clicks with you as an individual, like all of a sudden, like, okay, that one thought ends up having everything fall into place.
I will say there's two guys that were as good as it gets, Tony Gwynn and Barry Bonds. Same cue, but a little bit different thought. Tony Gwynn used to always talk about he wanted to stay inside the ball, almost raking his hands across his chest. That's leading with the hands. Barry Bonds used to always say, I want to catch it, meaning I'm going to have my hands lead me out. That's what he meant by catching. So maybe a different thought, but it's the same principle. And that's what Max Muncy is doing right now. We say it all the time, stay square, because when you stay square, it allows you to use your hands. And I'm hoping Shohei Ohtani understands that, figures out a way to make sure he leads with his hand, whatever the cue he wants to use, but you got to lead with those hands to keep that front shoulder from flying open.
Yeah, and there's other, listen, there's not, Shohei's not the only guy struggling. There's some other guys who I haven't found it yet and are still searching as well. So it's collectively, it's finding each and every one of them, like, okay, what works for the individual in order to get the bat path correctly through the zone.
And I tell you what, I know there are fans that are frustrated on Twitter. I'm getting tweeted at often about Shohei Ohtani. I'm telling you guys, nobody is hurting more right now than Shohei Ohtani. He is trying hard to figure it out. He cares an awful lot, and he knows what he means to this team, not just on the mound, but also he is that spark for our offense. He realized it. I'm telling you, he's working very hard to get this thing right.
All right, Dodgers lose.
Tonight, separately, we put double-digit hits up there. We had a chance for a big inning with the bases loaded, nobody out. We ended up putting 2 runs on the board. Where you'd like to come out with a couple more, but yeah, it was good to see Max continue to do what he's been doing, and see Teo have some good at bats, and Will threw out a couple hits today, which was good. And so I just think that the effort, the focus was there. I thought the fight was there, and we're gonna come out of it. It's frustrating while you're in it. But we just have too much talent and too much desire to keep doing this for much longer. But yeah, tonight is the one I felt that we had the pitching as far as the pen lined up, and I felt we were gonna break out, and we had an opportunity to get to their pen. So it just didn't happen. But I still feel encouraged about some things tonight.
Shohei Ohtani, it's clear that he's trying to get back on track offensively. He's now taking batting practice twice within a week. You've talked in the past with other guys about giving them just like a mental break when they're struggling. Is that something that you would consider with him right now?
Yes, yeah. He's pitching on Wednesday, and I haven't decided if he's going to, one of those days he's not going to hit. So I haven't decided that, but yeah, as far as on top of that, it's certainly, given what we're asking of him on the pitching side, it's a fair question. I haven't decided on that, but it certainly should be on the table.
Those days mean Wednesday or Thursday?
Correct.
Is this as out of whack as you've seen?
Yes, it is. It is. It is. I think even early on when he wasn't, right, he was still taking walks and getting on base. Where I think right now, and tonight was a classic example, where I think he's just trying to swing out of it. And so that's just apparent. And a lot of hitters, when they are scuffling, they want to kind of swing out of it. And so tonight was one of those nights.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing for trying to do this?
Not really. I think I think the thought is understandable, but when you're a really dangerous hitter, and and pitchers are not going to give in to you, then it's really not a good mindset, because you sort of got to take what they give you. And so tonight they clearly weren't going to give in to him, and he took the bait tonight.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of them ground outs to the right side of the infield. Why do you think that is?
I think just over anxiousness. I really do. I think that, today on the field, he was trying to work to the big part of the field, and I thought had a good practice on the field. And then, I think even just kind of just seeing every single at bat that he's taken this year, it just seems like there's a lot more balls to the pull side, a lot more balls on the right side of the infield than there has been the last couple of years. So that's kind of telling me that there's a little over anxiousness, in my opinion.
When you watched this BP today, could you tell like something's a little bit off still?
No, you know what? I thought the BP, the intent was good. I thought the homers to the big part of the field were really good. And then just in the game, it just sort of, reverted back to what it's been.